What is the plot of the story? Hello everyone! Today I want to talk about the plot of the story, which is a very important element. What is plot exactly? It's the sequence of events. For example, the story starts in a cold winter in New York, and it's about a boy called, let's say, Jack. The story goes on about how Jack grows up and gets married, but then let's say his wife dies of an accident and then he finds a job, blah blah blah. So the story goes on, the sequence of the events of the story. The plot is so important for our story because it's like a map for our journey. Like when we start a journey, we need a map to tell us where to go. From city A to city B to city C, the different steps that we need to follow. Especially if you're a writer, you definitely need a plot. You need a map to know where to start writing and what to do next. You can't just go and find your way in the dark jungle. So this is the plot, and plots of the stories can be really different, and some of them have less details, some of them have greater details, and be more specific. So this is basically plot. Now, what is plot summary? If you are a writer, especially, you need a plot summary to start writing like a professional writer. Plot summary is about what the characters of the story say, what they do. But it leaves out, the plot of the story leaves out the description and analysis, and it only concentrates on major events. Like when you start, for example, writing, the first thing you need to know is the major events of your story, the important things that are going to happen. Later on, you add more and more details, you add descriptions until it becomes a whole package. Now, about commercial fiction, I talked about it a lot in the previous videos. I put the links in the caption so you can follow and know about commercial fiction versus literary fiction. In commercial fiction, the plot of the story is the king of the story. It's so important. In commercial fiction, we see a very complicated plot. Like the more complicated, the better. It has a lot of twists and turns, full of surprise, full of suspense, so that you would turn the pages and keep reading, or if it's a movie, keep watching to see what happens at the end. Like they design the plot in a way that the ending becomes such a big surprise. Like you want to know what happens after all these twists and turns. So it's so complex. The more complex, the better. And it's page turning. It keeps you reading. That's why it's commercial. They make money out of it because a lot of people follow and spend their money to see what happens in the story. It's so exciting and full of surprises. This is the plot in commercial fiction. And one thing you should know is that plot shouldn't be plot is not the content of the story. The content of the story is about the actions of the story, but the plot of the story is about how the author arranges these actions. Like the god of the story. What's the plan? The plan of these actions is called the plot. And definitely it's your favorite thing because people usually look for complex plots full of tricks, full of, surprises, as I told you. And the last point about plot is that they usually pick tried and true method. They pick plots that are surely successful. So when you read a lot of stories, you just see a conventional, familiar pattern. It's a conventional structure, a standard structure with familiar tricks that are like kind of repetitive in all the stories. That's it. If you like this video, please subscribe, like, comment, and wait for more. I love you and goodbye.